Hi, welcome to the series on automating deployment on GKE. Let us recap what we have done in the previous project series. We have successfully deployed our static website app on GKE of GCP. Now, for this project scenario, consider a situation if we want to change some features of our app. So how could we automate the process of deploying that app onto GKE? That is what we are going to focus in this project. So basically, we have two ways to deploy. One way is to automate the commands using a shell file and then execute that. And the second way is to deploy using Travis CI. We shall see both the methods. So basically, the idea behind automating the commands using a shell file is that instead of rewriting and executing the commands which are involved in deploying an app on K8s in console, we curate all those commands in a single file and execute that file itself, which internally executes all those given commands in the order we write in. So basically, without we writing each and every command in the console, we will write all those commands in a file and then execute that file itself. So the commands to execute in console in order to deploy an app on K8s are as follows. The first command is to build the image of the app, which could be something like docker build -d and the name of the image along with the tag, and dot. Dot indicates the current directory where the Docker file is present. So basically we are telling that the Docker file which will be used to build this image is present in the current directory. If not, we just need to give the name of the folder where the Docker file is present. Then the second command is to push the image to the Docker Hub, which is docker push and name of the image. Then we also need to edit the YAML file of the deployment resource to use the updated image of the app. What I mean by doing this is, if you remember, this is the deployment resource YAML file configuration, which we have used while deploying the our static app, right? So this is the kind of deployment name and the namespace to which this belongs to and all these things. So the important thing is the name of the container is days app container and the image which we want to use is this one. So initially we have set this to be this, but what if we want to change this based on the new changes we have made to our application and the new Docker images, the new Docker image which is formed based on the new application or the updated application, we should change this, right? So we also need to change that. So we need to update this image. Then we also need to apply all the K8s configuration files to build the K8s resources like service, ingress, deployment, and all. The steps involved look like this. First of all, whatever the change we want to make to our code or our application, we will make that. And then we will write an executable file. This executable file contains all the commands which are necessary for the further processing. Then we will push our application code as well as this shell file onto the GitHub. We shall also set up ingress controller on GCP console. Then we will pull the code from that GCP console, execute this shell executable, and then open the public IP which we will be given in the ingress section. So let us see how our executable file will be looking like. First of all, we will get the git sha of our recent commit. So we get that using this command git ref parse head, which is nothing but the hash of the recent commit. We will store that hash and we will build a Docker image of our recent application with the tag, which is nothing but this git sha. We can always use the tag something like latest, but here the intention is to make you clear that what we are exactly doing. So basically, whatever the change we are making to our current application, we want to make the image, the Docker image of that application, and that Docker image will be having the tag, which is the git sha, which is the hash of the recent most git commit. We are doing this because the Kubernetes will only be able to use the images. It will not be able to build any image upon its own. So we are writing all the commands which are necessary as the pre-processing steps before deploying an app onto K8. All these points are as discussed previously in the previous project series. So basically, whenever we want to deploy an application onto Kubernetes, the first and foremost step is to build that application, and the second step is to build the Docker image of that application, and the third step is to push that Docker image onto an online repository like Docker Hub, and then we need to specify those images in the YAML configuration files so that these YAML configuration files will be used to create the Kubernetes resources like deployment. So whatever the images we want to use of our application, we will be using them in the deployment resource of Kubernetes. And for that deployment resource to be available for communication, we will be using the service resource. And then for that service resource to be discoverable outside, we will use Ingress. So basically, this is the recap of the steps involved in deploying an application onto K8s. Now coming back, once we got the hash of the recent commit, we will just store that as an environment variable, and the variable name is git_sha. This variable contains the value of the hash of the recent commit. And the value of the hash of the recent commit can be obtained using this particular git command. So remember that this is an environment variable. Next step is, just as discussed, we want to build the Docker image of our application to which we have made changes recently. And for that, we are just giving the tag to be the recent git hash, git commit hash. Now, after building the Docker image, we also need to push that Docker image to an online repository like a Docker Hub. Then, as discussed, we would have already mentioned this image in the deployment resource. And that resource will be formed based on the configuration file, YAML configuration files. So the next step is applying those YAML configuration files and then updating the image of the deployment. This is very important because in the YAML configuration files, in the deployment YAML configuration file, we would have set the image to be the old one. But that is not dynamically possible to change every time directly by going into the YAML file. So to do that, we are just using this kubectl command, where the command is kubectl set image, and this is the deployment name, static web deployment. If you have remembered, this is the deployment name which we have used in the previous project. And then the namespace is sample, and this is the name of the container. So basically, we are setting this Docker image, which we have built very recently now. Okay, this one is the one which we have pushed. So we want to update the container to run based on this image. So we are just setting the image. We are basically updating the image of this deployment. And the image which now we want to use is this one, which is nothing but the thing which we have pushed now based on the recent git hash. So don't worry, we will do all these things step by step very clearly. So the basic idea is to kind of automate all the kind of steps which are involved in updating the image, so that we will be able to update the application based on the changes we make to our application. So basically, if you want to change the color of the heading or any other changes for that matter, when you want to apply those changes and make those changes to be reflected on the application which is being hosted on Kubernetes, then this is a way to automate the execution of steps sequentially in the order which we have written here. So if this file is not there, we would write all these steps ourselves in the console. So instead of we writing every single command every time we want to update the image of our application, we are just kind of automating this process by curating all the commands sequentially in a file, and then finally we will execute this file using these commands, which is chmod 700 deploy.sh, if at all the file name is named as deploy.sh. So this is important because we need to give the permissions. Basically here we are giving all the permissions to ourselves to read, write, execute basically. So we are giving the execution permissions and then we are executing it.